from each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are, from memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight, reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I'm Jeffrey, and we are back today with the 115th Disney feature-length film from July the 31st of the year 1974. It is a film called The Bears and I. The Bears and I. Have they ever heard of you? Because I've never heard of them. Yeah, I've never heard of this film.
No.
We'll just start us off with a synopsis about The Bears and I.
Sure, a man seeking peace and quiet finds himself father to 3 bears.
Goldilocks and just kidding.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this was a return to film about a buddy film with animals, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you got any trivia or any opening thoughts about the film?
Um, it's the first live action film produced by Disney. The only other thing that I found interesting is kind of a spoiler, so I'll just kind of go over it when we get there.
All right, so we're diving right in.
Sure.
So there is a advisory before the film starts. It says this film has been edited for content. I don't really know what it was edited for, but I mean, I can assume.
Yeah.
But whatever. We see a man walking in the wilderness and the mountains while John Denver's song plays during the opening credits. We hear a narrator talking about the man's travels.
Mhm.
He is on a mission to find the chief, who is the father of one of his old deceased military buddies.
Mhm.
He finds like the chief's tribe, kind of like in the woods in a little like community town. And the locals don't take too kindly to this man.
Yep.
Uh, but he does meet the father in the village store. He's kind of like the chief.
Hmm.
It's the same guy that was in the film Scandalous John.
Mhm.
He hands over the son's things, and this is where he says that he has decided to stay and camp there for a while. He's heard good things from the son.
Yep.
Anything else?
It sounded like from what he was saying, um, like he was really good friends with the guy's son, but it sounds like the son passed away like literally right before they were to come home in battle. So,
Yeah. So he's gonna camp there. He tries to rent some stuff out. Everybody's trying to rent him some. Everyone's trying to get money from him.
yeah.
But he canoes to his new place. He's a moose, a wolf, a cougar, and an elk on his journey. Um, he basically wants to figure out what to do with his life. The cabin that he's renting has definitely seen better days. Want to talk about the cabin?
Yeah, it's a dilapidated cabin. It's falling apart. Yet again, we have another movie where there somehow is a family of raccoons that have made themselves a home in the kitchen.
It's true.
This
We
time not in the stove though, under the cabinet.
we also see a Disney owl that's in the place.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Hmm.
He also sees the bears.
Mm-hmm. Because he's repairing this
Yeah.
cabin.
And he sees 3 little bears and the mother bear. This is where he says that he has learned that black bears and brown bears are the same bears, just different colors.
I've never heard that though.
As the time goes on, he has more and more run-ins with the bears. Mama Bear is not pleased with him
Hmm.
being around these bears.
Hmm.
And but it's around this time that the chief summons this guy to show him something. Um, and this is where he gives this man all of his son's hunting equipment.
Yeah, like
So he's
hunting and fishing stuff.
he's
He's
coming around on this guy.
yeah, and he talks about how he feels like the father wanted him to talk about him, but also couldn't stand for him to talk about him.
Mhm.
So he's like obviously in these grieving stages of like he wants to hear about his son and relive the memories, but at the same time it hurts too much to do it yet.
Yep. So he gives the chief a picture of him and his son. Um, and it's here where there's a quote that says, "Wildlife is born tame, but made wild by people."
Hmm.
And just like that, hunters come.
Hmm.
Have come to the land near him, and he's like, "Oh no, I have to go find these bears to make sure that they're okay." But they are killed. The hunters kill the mother bear
Yeah, so
because you wait,
Sam Eagle Speaker has led the people on a hunting trip and they shoot the mother bear.
yeah, yeah, and I said, yeah, another Disney movie where the mother passes away.
Yeah. So he knows that there's three cubs now that don't have a mother, so he goes to look for them. And then he finds three orphaned cubs and takes it upon himself to earn their trust.
Yep, they were hiding in a tree to start.
So that way he can like make sure they're okay
Hmm.
because he has a big heart and wants to make sure that they're gonna make it.
Yep. So he begins to feed and bond with the bear cubs.
Mhm.
Uh, remember their names? Did you write it down? I wrote it down too. I was asking.
Patch, Scratch, and I forgot the girl.
And Rusty.
Rusty. I don't know why he named her Rusty.
He said Rusty's the girl.
Yeah.
They do begin to warm
I
up.
guess because her fur was she was the brown
Mm.
black bear.
They do begin to warm up to him. One of the bears,
Patch.
Patch, has like a love with him, like sits on his lap, plays with him.
Patch is the first one to start being trusting.
Yep. So he has a new career as a mother bear.
Yeah.
He is on a mission to find some acceptable cub grub.
Mhm. Well, he
Uh,
wants them to be independent because he wants them to go out on their own when they're old enough.
um, Cubs get themselves into some trouble with an elk, but the man comes to the rescue.
Yeah.
So he has to go fishing with the bear cubs, which causes the boat to capsize. Anything on that? Boat capsizes. The bears have to like swim their way back to shore.
Yeah.
The bears are drenched, but they've made it back to shore. And as the film,
Well, when the boat capsized,
one of them stayed on it for the whole like rotation.
Rusty was the one that was still in it. And then it flipped back over and she was still in. And she looked dry, so she must have stayed up in the boat. So when it flipped, she was in the air pocket, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe. The bear cubs are getting older, and their appetite keeps doubling as they grow,
Hmm.
and they are eating all of the man's food.
Hmm.
So the man's like, I have to go to the store.
But I can't leave
And I
them.
can't leave these bears. So he has to take the bears on a canoe ride with him to the store. So he fashions up some bear leashes. Anything on that before we get to in town?
Mm-mm.
People in the town are not very pleased. Their dogs are not very pleased. The dogs chase the bears up a tree.
Mhm.
The men are very upset with this man for capturing the bears.
That's when we find out that this tribe is yet again another tribe that is one with the bears.
Mhm. So they are one with the bear, which is weird because they killed the mother, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, that was because it was Sam Eagle Speaker, and he's not a great person, and he denied it because this guy called him out on it, and he's like, "I did not."
So but they're not very fond of this guy for capturing these bears. They think that he's trying to do it for money because they say that his kind is
Always in it for money.
always in it for money. There's a big fight because one of the Sam Eagle speaker guy tries to shoot the bear cubs, so there's a big fight.
Yeah, because they already shot their mom.
This is where the chief says that a bear is not a dog, a bear should be free. He says that this man in this act has angered the great spirits.
And nothing but bad things will come upon
And
them.
nothing but bad things will come. But speaking of bad things, a plane comes to join the party.
Mhm.
We learn that it is a crew that is being sent to turn the land into a government property national park, and the locals have to move out.
Yeah.
Right? Um,
hmm
it is at this time that the tribesmen see that the man is speaking to the visitors, so they're like, "Oh, he must be in on this."
Yeah.
Um, so he has to go back into town to talk to them about what's going on. So he hides the cubs in the root cellar this time.
The guys that came in on the plane told them that no matter what they do, they've been coming by multiple times, and every time they come by, there's not a single First Nations person to be seen. So they've not even been able to talk to them about what they're trying to do. Because they're trying to give them some kind of voice, supposedly.
Huh.
Um, and they just all disappear.
So he hides the cubs in the root cellar before going back into town.
hmm
And he picks up he's mailing he wants to take college courses on natural science, so he's like mailing away to get these books around natural science. People are not taking too kindly of the man. The chief is upset. The chief returns all the photos that the man gave him of his son. They saw that he was talking to the government men, and they think that he works for them, like I said.
hmm
But he denies it, and he has to go back into town, and of course, or back to his cabin. And it's at this time that the winter is coming. As they prepare for winter, there's a Disney snowstorm.
hmm
And we all know what bear cubs do in the winter. They have to hibernate. So during hibernation, the bears have doubled their size again.
And they're hibernating in the root cellar.
Yes.
And Redfern comes to visit him.
Yep. Um, who is like the shop owner guy.
Yeah, he's pretty much the only good connection he has to those people.
Mhm.
And then he tells them when he comes there that they realized that he really wasn't working with the government people because no idiot would stay there in a cabin in that shape
In the
in the winter
freeze.
time. So he said, I figured you could use some supplies.
He brings them the supplies. He brings them the books that he had ordered. They discuss the national park.
And he wanted to know how he knew it was books, and he said, because I opened it.
Yeah.
Could have been a bomb or something.
Um,
I thought that was so funny.
the guy
Could have been a bomb or something.
the guy warns him to again get rid of the bears, but it's at this point that hibernation
Well,
is.
he thought he had already got rid of the bears, and then he's like, no, they're hibernating in the root cellar.
So the hibernation is over, and the bears are very big. There's a visit from the chief who's upset about the bears still being with the man and not being free.
Mhm.
It is at this point that the Parks Department sends a letter about construction, and the chief blames the bears for the negative trouble.
Mhm.
And then, speaking of negative trouble, the construction crews show up.
Mhm.
They talk about because of due process and official notice to vacate. Basically, these people have to leave.
Yeah.
The the tribe, the locals rip it up, and one of them pulls a gun on the construction crew,
Sam Eagle Speaker.
and um,
He is the most terrible person I've ever seen in a movie.
the in this movie, I'm sure there's some other people that are terrible, but yeah, the fight for the
He
land,
ranks up there.
the fight for the land has begun.
hmm
So now, after being shot at, the crew that's there to like do the construction is like, well, we require protection because we're not getting shot at. So they send for
Sam
the
Eagle Speaker.
they send for the Rangers to come.
Yeah.
Um. Oh yeah, because it's at this point that Sam Eagle Speaker tries to scalp the man for even talking to
The next white man I see, I'm going to scalp.
and it happens to be the guy,
Bob,
the guy with the bears. But they stop him.
a terrible
Um,
guy.
so we cut back to the cabin. Um, we cut back to the cabin, and he finds that the bears. He finds his bears. But it's at this point that that Eagle Speaker guy shoots one of the bears, shoots one of the bear cubs.
Well, and at that point, the bears had been going off on their own some, and Rusty and Scratch would go off for several days at a time without him seeing them. But Patch would always kind of like stay closer because he had that bond with him.
Yep.
And they just so happened to be coming in the area when Sam Eaglespeaker, the terrible one,
Shoots him.
shoots Patch.
So this big chase ensues. There's a big intense fight.
Oh yeah.
Um, the man knocks Eagle Speaker out. He throws his gun into the water, but then he goes to tend to the shot bear. But we learn that he's not dead. Patch is not dead. He's just injured. Um, but then the tribesman Eagle Speaker guy retaliates by lighting the cabin on fire. He lights his cabin on fire. The man decides to tend to the injured bear instead of saving his stuff. But unfortunately, this escalates very quickly to becoming a massive forest fire.
Yeah.
So then the tribe comes to help put the fire out. His store clerk friend guy helps with the bear. I don't remember that you wrote his name down, whatever.
Redfern.
Yeah, he like helps with the bear. The fire rages on.
While
It-
everybody else is like fighting this fire.
Yep. That's what I want to say. The construction crew and the tribe are working together to put they're
So
working
everybody's
side by side.
differences are out the window. They all care about the area that they live in or they're working on, so they're working together to save it.
Yeah. They try to tend to Patch. Um, and they the chief doesn't want to save the bear because he doesn't want the bear to be, in captivity. Speaking of animals in captivity, our dog has joined the fun. Um, and this is where the man says, "You can't let this bear die for no reason." So the chief decides to take the bear in to try to save it.
Only if he will set it free, though.
Yep.
You have to set it free.
If he promises to set the bear free afterwards. They do
But they
nurse
still feel like he's keeping them as a pet.
for money, and all the negative things are coming from it.
It's because of these bears. That's why they're losing their land.
So they do nurse Patch back to life. And it is at this point that the Rangers send in the leader of the construction crew to come in to discuss the use of the national park and the reserve made for them that's going to be at Thunderbird Lake. The tribe wants to keep what is theirs, and they're not gonna leave. They will die for this land, right?
Yep.
Okay. They're gonna die for this land. So then this is where the ancestors, or this is when the older tribesmen council decided that they're gonna go join the ancestors at the sacred spot in the mountain, and they are gonna fast until they pass away. Right? Anything on that scene?
They are going to fast and wait for a sign from their ancestors. And then if they pass away, they pass away at that point.
So the man pleads with the commissioner about trying to solve the problems and making the tribe. He offers to, or he suggests making the tribe park rangers, so that way they could stay on the property or on their land. But it's not going to work that way. They have too much invested.
Yeah.
So he's like, "All right, I'm going to go find the chief because he owes it to his deceased friend." So he hikes up to find the sacred place, but they are not very happy with that because like that ground is sacred to them, and he goes to find it. He talks to them about how the world changes and the meaning of home and everything. Um, so he leaves there.
Mhm.
So then he goes back, and he goes back to what's left of his cabin. And
And he did say that I came up here because my friend, your son, would want me to.
Mhm.
And he said, well, my son would have cared about our ways. And he said, well, things would have changed. He would have cared about his father.
Yep. So he goes to find the bears, but they have all fled from the fire. He searches 4 days, um, and he searches 4 days, and he's like, all right, I can't find the bears. But then he does find them, like that one bear comes back to him first, and then he finds the bears. But then, um, shockingly, the chief comes after the man
Mhm.
because he's like, "Oh, I saw a sign. I saw a sign. I saw a rainbow."
A double rainbow, I thought.
But yeah, a double rainbow. But then it's at this point that saw a sign, and he says that from this day forward, they will all live in peace because they have the Rangers have decided to make the chief and all the tribe deputy rangers in charge of animal control to stay on their land, and they will get paid.
Mhm.
But it's at this point that Patch comes back, and that upsets the man.
And he said, oh, everything's going to be ruined. You have to run him away.
So he does. He officially drives the bear away.
Yeah. And he said it was the hardest thing he ever did. But after he did it, he realized it's what he needed to do.
And speaking of the hardest things we've ever done, that's the end of the film.
It wasn't one of the hardest things we've ever had to do. That would have been Treasure Island, people.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that one.
And that's the end of the film. So yeah, we had never heard of this before, but I'm happy we watched it. So you mentioned that you had some giveaway facts. What you got?
Yeah, so the paperback he's seen reading on the first night that the Cubs are in the cabin is Agatha Christie's Passenger to Frankfurt. Unfortunately for him, it was widely regarded as her worst novel, but that was what he was reading because he enjoyed reading.
There you go.
Yeah, so IMDb gave this a 6.1 out of 10. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I
You just-
actually,
Loosey goosey with these ratings.
no, I enjoyed it. I
Okay.
enjoyed it. He stood up for what he believed in. It had a happy ending. Uh, I enjoyed the hijinks with the bears.
It had a Disney storm again.
Yeah, a Disney fire
hmm
that set things right,
Sure.
I guess. Um,
So yeah.
yeah, is it on your list, Faye?
So then what else? What else do you think about it? Did it make your list upon a star?
It did not make my list upon a star.
So then what is your list upon a star through July of 1975?
So it's 101 Dalmatians, The Parent Trap, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, Napoleon and Samantha, Snowball Express, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, Lady and the Tramp, and Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
The next film came out the day after. Sorry, that's weird. I just thought of that. So this also does not make my list upon a star. My list upon a star is still the same. It is going to be 101 Dalmatians, followed by Mary Poppins, followed by Peter Pan, followed by Robin Hood, followed by Alice in Wonderland, then Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Babes in Toyland, Napoleon and Samantha, The Aristocats, and my number 10 film on the chopping block is Pinocchio, which again was the second film that we watched, and we will put that right here. So yeah, so I just realized that our next film comes out the next day after this film, July 31st to August 1st of 1974. But before we talk about what our next film is, we are on Instagram. Come say hello. We'd love to hear from you. We are on YouTube. If you could give us a comment, give us a rating, tell your friends, we would, that would go a long way, and that'd be very appreciated. Thank you. We are on Spotify. If you want to give us a thumbs up or tell your friends, listen to the soothing sounds of our voices and our dog whining. And of course, if you would like to write to us about this film or any films that we've watched so far, and there's been 115 of them, which has been amazing. this journey, and that is obviously deepdivingthemagicpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. So what's next? One day in the future, going to the beginning of August of the year 1974, film 116, because, 116 films we've watched before, is another film that I had never heard of before. It is the return of some familiar faces, but it is a film called The Castaway Cowboy. So we'll talk to you then for 116, The Castaway Cowboy.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.